Welcome to Financial Literacy class. Today we're starting with one of the most important foundations of your financial life, credit. Not just fixing it, not just cleaning it, but understanding how it actually fits into how you live, how you move, and how you create freedom. Before we go any further, I want to set something straight. Yes, you're going to learn how to clean your credit. You're going to learn strategies like the 2-week method and how to remove inaccurate information. But I'm also going to give you things most programs never talk about. The real-world perks and systems that people with strong credit quietly use every day. The reason I built this program to be recession-proof is simple. Life doesn't stop when the economy slows down. You still need to travel. You still need to move. You still want a certain quality of life. The difference is whether you're paying full price for it or whether you're paying at cost using systems most people don't know exist. And that's what credit actually is. It's not debt. It's leverage. It's access. It's a set of keys that unlock doors that cash alone never will. Let me show you what I mean. A lot of major companies don't operate in isolation. Airlines, credit card companies, hotels, and retailers all partner with each other. Delta partners with American Express. United partners with Chase. These partnerships create what are called affiliate systems. And inside those systems are perks, points, and discounts that most people walk right past every day. Here's a powerful example. United and Delta both have something called an online shopping portal. Instead of going directly to a store like Macy's, Best Buy, or Nike, you go through the airline's shopping portal first. When you do that, the airline rewards you with flight miles just for buying things you were already going to buy. So let's say you go to the United shopping portal and click through to Macy's. You buy something, clothes, home goods, whatever, using your credit card. United tracks that purchase and gives you airline miles based on how much you spent. Now here's where credit changes the game. When your credit is strong, you're able to use higher limit cards. So instead of spending a few $100s, you might run $5,000 or $6,000 through that card. United rewards you with a massive amount of miles, enough to cover a first-class flight anywhere in the United States. You get the miles, you book the flight, you take the trip, and then, within the return window, you return the merchandise to Macy's. The refund goes back to your card, but the miles stay in your account. That means you just traveled for free. This isn't a loophole. This is how affiliate systems work. Airlines, credit card companies, and retailers already got paid. They don't reverse miles because you returned merchandise. That's built into the system. And this is why credit matters. When you understand how to use it, credit stops being something you're afraid of and becomes something you use strategically. You're no longer paying retail for your lifestyle. You're paying at cost, or sometimes not paying at all. Delta, United, and American all have these portals. I'm going to provide you with the exact links so you can access them. But even right now, you can simply search United Shopping Portal or Delta Shopping Portal and see it for yourself. This is just one example of what becomes possible when your credit is clean and your limits are strong. And this is why we're starting here. Because fixing your credit isn't just about approval letters. It's about unlocking a different way to live. And what I just showed you, the flight strategy, that's only one piece of the puzzle. That's just how you get free flights. Once we go through the funding side of this program, I'm also going to walk you through how to use credit cards to get top-tier status. Most people think status is something you earn by flying all the time. That's not how it really works. You can take the status you get from something like an American Express Platinum card and match it across airlines, hotels, and rental car companies instantly. That means upgrades, priority boarding, better customer service, better rooms, better treatment, without having to grind for it. These are things most people never expect to learn in a credit class, but they're exactly why credit matters. Because here's what we're really doing. When we start building your credit and opening access to funding, the goal is not to have you using your paycheck just to survive. Your income should not be consumed by rent, groceries, utilities, and basic living. Income is supposed to be invested. It's supposed to grow. It's supposed to become an asset, not disappear every month paying bills. That's where credit comes in. You want your lifestyle expenses handled by credit systems that you control. Flights, hotels, food, transportation. These are things you can leverage through credit. And that's why learning how to control credit is so powerful. Because when you control it, it works for you. And here's the part people miss. Credit is forgiving. You can make a mistake. You can fall on hard times. You can have something go wrong, and you can fix it. I saw this firsthand just recently. A friend of mine called me stressed out. He and his wife had switched mortgage companies, but the autopay didn't transfer correctly. One payment got missed. Just one. And even though he has more than 10 mortgages in his name, that single missed payment showed up on his credit and caused problems. That's how sensitive credit is. But it's also why it's so powerful, because when something goes wrong, there are systems to correct it. And that's exactly what we're going to teach you how to use. He had just one missed payment. That one payment dropped his score from around 807 down to almost 690, and he was panicking. He was calling me like something had gone terribly wrong. But all I had to tell him was this: it's fixable. You just have to know what you're doing. That's really the difference. This is why my approach to credit is different. I don't just want to clean your credit for you. I don't want you dependent on me or anyone else. I want you to understand it. I want you to have the tools. I want you to know where to look and how to stay current. Because the credit industry changes constantly. What works today might not work next year. New rules come out. Banks change their approval standards. Dispute tactics evolve. So if you don't know where to go for real information, you're always going to be behind. That's why I'm going to give you the same resources I use. These are the places where I study. These are the places where strategies are tested in real time. One of them is called Doctor of Credit. Another one is called credit boards. These are not random websites. These are communities and data hubs where people track what's working across the entire credit ecosystem. You can see what dispute methods are getting results. You can see what credit cards are approving people. You can see which banks are giving higher limits and which ones are tightening up. You're not guessing anymore. You're watching the market. When you use sites like these, you stay in the loop. You know who's approving. You know what's changing. You know what strategies are working right now, not last year. And that's what I want for you. I don't want you to leave this program saying, "He showed me how to do X, Y, and Z, but now I don't know what to do next." That would be a disservice. You need to know how to keep learning. You need to know how to find the same information I use. Now, with that foundation, we can talk about what credit actually is. At its core, credit is simple. It's someone lending you money in advance with the expectation that you will pay it back, usually with interest. Your credit report is your financial report card. It tells lenders how you've done in the past. It shows whether you pay on time, whether you keep balances low, whether you maintain accounts responsibly. Every time someone lends you money, your credit report keeps score, and the better that score looks, the more power you have. Most of you already know what a credit report is. You know how much money you're spending, how much debt you're carrying, and you've heard of the big three: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. But the real question isn't whether you have a credit report. The real question is, what does a good credit report actually look like? That's where most people get it wrong. When banks look at your credit, they're not just looking at your score. They're analyzing data points. Your score is just a number. Your report is the story behind that number. You can actually have a blank credit file, add one trade line, and suddenly show a score of 750. That happens all the time. But does that mean your credit is strong? No. Banks will still deny you because there's no depth behind the number. I see this constantly. Someone will say, "I've got a 750, but they only have 2 accounts and maybe one authorized user trade line with 10 years of history. On paper, the score looks good, but the report is weak. What we want to build is not just a high score. We want to build a strong profile, and that comes down to data points. One of the biggest data points is utilization. You've probably heard that you should stay under 30%. That's technically true, but it's misleading. Under 30% won't hurt you, but it won't help you either. Under 10% is where the magic happens. When your utilization is below 10%, it actively pushes your score higher. When you're between 10 and 30, you're basically neutral. You're not being punished, but you're not being rewarded. And once you go above 30%, the damage starts. And the higher you go, the worse it gets. So the goal isn't 30%. The goal is 9% or lower. Another major data point is how many accounts you have. You need at least 10 positive accounts on your credit report. Not 1, not 3, 10. That's what gives your profile depth. And we're going to go step by step through how to build that the right way. Then you have inquiries. You don't want a report full of them. 2 to 3 is ideal. Anything more than that starts to make you look risky. You also want 0 derogatory marks, no collections, no charge-offs, no late payments sitting there poisoning your file. So when you put it all together, a strong credit profile looks like this: low utilization under 10%, at least 10 positive accounts, only 2 to 3 inquiries, and no derogatory items. Those are the data points banks actually judge you on. And here's the key thing most people never get taught. These are controllable. Your credit report isn't random. It's structured. And once you understand how it's structured, you can design it to get approvals instead of denials. Nobody ever explains that to people, until now.